Hello there, Aries. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the week of April the 25th through May Day. Isn't that awesome that we're actually landing on May Day? So anyway, let's take a peek. We're going to look at one card per day, and we're going to see what shows up as far as highlights for each day, see if there's anything that shows up as themes for the week. Sometimes there are, sometimes there are not. While I'm shuffling, I do want to remind everybody this is a collective reading, which just means that not everything that I say here is going to apply to every single Aries, but most of it will apply to most of you. Okay, let's see what we have for cards. By the way, guys, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, or if you'd like to learn how to read the tarot or do your own psychic mentoring, learn how to tap in, I have all those services available. All my contact information is on the website listed above, and you can also get an overview of those services as well. Feel free to reach out to me if you have questions or if you want to set up a private session for yourself. So, la da da da, let's take a peek at our cards, Aries. We are starting, I'm using the vice versa deck today. And so, what we're starting with is we're starting with this side of the Nine of Wands showing up in reverse. So, this is Saturday's card, and then Sunday's card, we have that side of the Ace of Wands in reverse. So we've got a fiery weekend definitely showing up for you guys, and that's perfectly apropos for you guys because you have a fiery personality, so why not? Lots of enthusiasm, lots of passion. We like it. Now, the Nine of Wands coming up in reverse on Saturday means there's something happening that is surprising you. You're not really prepared for it. You're not necessarily even expecting it. So something happening kind of as a surprise. Is it Aries season? No, it's not your birthday season yet. I want to see what this has to do with before we move forward. So I'm going to take a peek at my Lenormand deck and see what kind of hints we can get about the surprise. And once again, remember this will apply to most of you, but it is a collective reading. So I'm not looking at only your energies. This could be somebody else's. Or I mean, this might be more for another Aries or more Aries. Oh, this is interesting. So what we have coming up is what takes you by surprise. You have the dog in the clouds in the Lenormand. This just means that what's taking you by surprise is you have a friend that's confused about something. And I think you're surprised about that. You thought that they understood it all, that they were very clear, and you're going to be finding out. Nope, they're confused. Looking at Sunday. Ace of Wands coming up in reverse. This just means that you're being an inspiration to somebody in your sphere of influence on Sunday. That means there's somebody that's watching how you're handling something, and they are hoping that I heard they are hoping that when they grow up, they can handle it half as good as you. So for many, many, many of you, this is going to be somebody who is a little one, or it could be somebody who just kind of feels like they aren't fully like adults yet. I know it took me until I was in probably my 40s before I actually felt like an adult, maybe my 30s, but somewhere in there. So this can be somebody who is a younger adult that is watching you and thinking, as I get older, as I am more operating in my talents and abilities, I hope I can handle things as well as you. So it's a very nice compliment to see that show up. You're being inspirational to somebody. Now, will you know it? Will you hear about it? Maybe they just think that in their minds about how inspirational you are. Maybe they don't share it yet. You might find out about this years or even decades from now, how inspirational you were. So even though you're not hearing it, I'm still going to say be on your best behavior. Make sure that whatever you're doing is what you want somebody coming along behind you to be actually inspired by. In other words, don't be that bad example that if this person follows that example as they come up, that they become a monster. You don't want to be responsible for creating the monster. And monster is figurative speech, not for real, not literal. Okay, so don't want to offend anybody, but I do want to say how I'm understanding the cards as well. One thing you will find with me is I don't do candy coating. I'm a firm believer that it's the truth that makes you free, and if people water down the truth so much that you can't even recognize it anymore, that doesn't make you free. So I try to tell you the truth as I see it. Now let's look through the week. Monday's cards, we'll do all the cards real quick and then we'll come back and talk about them. But Monday, you've got the Ten of Pentacles this side in reverse. Tuesday, you have that side of the Page of Cups in reverse. Wednesday, you have this side of the Eight of Swords. And then Thursday, you have that side of the Nine of Swords in reverse. By the way, guys, we don't worry about reversals and we don't worry about that sides either. This sides or that sides. And so Friday, we have the Ace of Pentacles this side. Now, why am I saying this side and that side? For those of you who don't have the Vice Versa Tarot, they're very particular on the idea that none of the cards, and I'm just pulling one randomly to make as a demonstration, none of the cards in this deck actually have a front or a back. There is no back. Like a typical deck will have a back that's the same on every single card. This does not. And so generally it's the daylight sides or the sides where you see the front of any figures is this side. And then the nighttime or where you see the back of the figures is considered that side in this deck. So that's what we're doing with that. It's a little different, I know. Just adds more layers of complexity to the reading. It's all good. Now, let's go back to our meanings for our days. Ten of Pentacles in reverse on Monday just tells me that you are doing something to increase your sense of stability and security, especially when it comes to the 3D world. So things that increase our sense of stability or security, believe it or not, many times, relationships. How solid are we in our relationships that are important to us? But also our investments, our assets, our jobs, all of those things add to security and stability. All right, looking at Tuesday. So Tuesday we have Page of Cups in reverse. I love the little sea turtle. Can you guys see the sea turtle there? Isn't he adorable? Of course, he's upside down in this card. But the Five of Cups in reverse, or excuse me, Page of Cups in reverse, basically talks about that on Tuesday, you will, I think later in the day, with it being that side, you're going to be expressing how you feel to somebody in your sphere of influence. Now, expressing how you feel. Let's talk about this. This can go two ways. If you're totally frustrated with somebody, you could express that. If you're absolutely head over heels, gaga in love with somebody, you could express that. So it can go two ways, but this is an expression of how you feel to somebody in your life. Normally, it comes across to me as we are expressing care and appreciation. This time, some of you are, definitely, the majority of you are even, but there is this small percentage that what you're going to be saying is, I'm really frustrated with you right now. Rather than, I think you're so amazing. All right, so that's Tuesday. Wednesday, this side of the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords just says that we're second guessing ourselves. We're overthinking ourselves. So whatever it is, we're trying to make a decision about something and we're just going in circles about it. We can't really decide. What do we think about this thing? We don't really know because every time we land on something that we think we've solved it, now we know what we think about this situation. Next thing you know, we're thinking, oh, but wait, I didn't consider this little detail or that little detail. And you go back to rethinking the whole thing all over again. And so that's what the Eight of Swords is all about. Now, there is a trick to get beyond the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, besides saying that we're overthinking and second guessing ourselves, what else it tells us is that we're being confined by our own perspective on something. And so our own perspective is locking us in. And so if we can imagine having a conversation with somebody who's objective, and sometimes just hearing the words come out of our mouths as we pretend to have this conversation, or even hearing the words formulate in our heads as we have this conversation, but it's more effective if the words actually stream out of your mouth. Then you kind of hear things more objectively because you're thinking about, what would this other person think if I said these things to them? And that helps you to see where you've been limiting yourself. And if having that imaginary conversation doesn't work, you may want to have a conversation with somebody who is truly objective about the situation to see what their perspective is, because that's going to help you break out of that lock-in, that lockdown that you've got going on in your own mind with your own perspective. Okay, so that's the advice to get out of that. We don't like to stay in that second guessing or overthinking mode because it just paralyzes us, and we don't want to be paralyzed. Now, let's move on to Thursday. Here we have that side of the Nine of Swords. What I'm feeling like this is relief. I think that there's something you've been really stressed out about. It could have been the thing from Wednesday that you're second guessing yourself on. But by the end of the day, I don't think that you're stressed out about it anymore. Something happens during the day that either shifts the situation or you do some self-work so you're not stressed out about it anymore. Either way, there's some release from that stress. Now, looking at Friday, this side of the Ace of Pentacles, this just says that there's some kind of gift or opportunity that is coming your way. There's some reason to be feeling grateful with that Ace of Pentacles. There's a particular thing that's happening that you could be really grateful about. Sometimes for me, I've had it be like just an aha moment that came to me while I was meditating, and I was so grateful that I came to that understanding of things. But it can also be very tangible things. Like one day I was walking down the middle of the road going home from my old job, one of my old jobs where I worked at a grocery store. And I looked down and there was a $10 bill just flapping in the grass in the median as I was crossing over from one side of the highway to the other. Not an interstate highway, a local highway. So anyway, there was that gift or opportunity. So I had the gift of the $10 and the opportunity of what do I want to spend this on? So it could be really, really random stuff that shows up. It can be ideas that come in from Sacred Spirit. It can be an actual tangible gift that somebody gives you. Okay. So, or an opportunity. This could be like if you're looking for a job or a new contract, this could be somebody saying, hey, we would love to have you come along and be a part of our team. This could be that too. Okay. So that's what we have for the week. You guys have a pretty good week showing up, it looks to me like. Thank y'all very much for being here. I appreciate y'all. I know that I will see some of you here for readings during the week. And the rest of you, I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.